Some female narcissists have a very clear hierarchy, and they abuse their girlfriends according to their rank in this hierarchy. The most important thing is not to be the lowest in the hierarchy, because if you're not the lowest, you're spared from most of the abuse and instead just observe the torture or are used as a tool to torture the lowest-ranking girlfriend. Sometimes, there will be more than one girl at the lowest rank, and they will both be targeted. If you don't want to abuse them, you risk being demoted. If you're demoted, your rank is lower, and you get more abuse within the group in general. So the girlfriend who is being tortured changes often. If the lowest-ranking girl isn't around, then another one becomes the lowest rank and is targeted instead. So if the girl who is usually abused doesn't show up, the group needs someone else to feed on. The next one who is at the lowest rank becomes the target for the most torture. If it's just the female narcissist and you alone, it's okay, because then she uses you as support and treats you well. You might feel like she treats you so well when you're alone, and you may even feel like she's chosen you, as if you're being treated well. She needs you to support her, laugh at her jokes, listen to her monologues and stories, and strengthen her position in the world. She needs you for this. But then, when you meet someone who's higher in her rank, the atmosphere changes completely. Out of nowhere, you become the dummy. She'll laugh at you with that friend. They exchange glances, and suddenly, you're treated as if you're ridiculous, small, or worse than them. You might feel like you're the problem, as if it's your behavior or something you did that's causing this. But it's absolutely not true. This is a dynamic caused by the group, not by you. The truth is, this behavior is more about the group's need for a scapegoat than about you or your actions. The narcissistic group needs someone to abuse in order to function and maintain its hierarchy. In this scenario, the female narcissist, with her influence, controls this dynamic. As you observe this, you'll see that in these kinds of relationships, you grow in one moment and shrink in another. It's like Alice in Wonderland, you're constantly shifting between a feeling of empowerment and being diminished. The feedback you receive is often completely disconnected from your actual behavior. It's not about you, it's about the shifting dynamics of the narcissistic group. You won't be able to make them like you unless you direct attention towards someone else, gossip about others, or ridicule someone else. This is the only way you might be seen as equal to them. The psychological and emotional torture inflicted on the target is done through ignoring them, shaming them, laughing at them, mocking their looks, the way they talk, and sometimes even their family or their clothes. It's cruel, but in the group setting, it's presented as just fun. For the person being targeted, it's deeply painful, and they usually just freeze and wait for it to end. We're taught to dismiss this behavior, but if you pay attention to how your body reacts, you'll notice the pain you feel in these situations. The person being tortured waits for the group to stop, but to the group, it's just fun. This is the cruel nature of narcissistic abuse, especially deep narcissistic abuse. The level of abuse varies among individuals. Some may have experienced only mild forms of narcissistic abuse and can recover and reintegrate into society, while others who've been completely broken by it see things differently. What once seemed like innocent laughter or just having fun now feels like abuse. The empathy of those in the group diminishes, and their ability to see the harm they cause also fades. This is the nature of narcissistic groups. They normalize cruelty and emotional neglect, turning it into something they dismiss as harmless or playful. The only way to avoid this is not to be involved in such groups. But the problem is that these groups exist everywhere. People are in these types of groups of friendships, cliques, and even work dynamics. People feel like they're doing the right thing by being loyal to these groups. But in reality, their loyalty to narcissists within these groups ends up enabling and perpetuating the abuse of others, often without them even realizing it.